Two friends and music fans made a pact this year to attend a live music event on the First Coast every week of the year. 52 performances. And as the year comes to a close, we're checking in to see how far they've come. I'm joined now by Heather Schatz and Jason Roth to talk about their massive musical undertaking. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. So, this sounds to me like the kind of thing that grew out of a bet. Like, I don't think we could do it, or could we possibly do it? How did you guys start on this musical journey?
Well, I think it was probably sometime in the spring during the Jack's River Jam series where I kind of looked at Heather and I was like, "Do you realize we've been going to a show every week this year so far, and we already had something like 20 under our belt?" And then that just kind of grew into a conversation that was like, "Can we hit 52 shows in 52 weeks of 2023?" And then it became a challenge, and we were off to the races.
Did you think that, Heather, that you could do it?
I am the most optimistic person ever. So, yes, although we had a couple of challenges along the way, one of them being the fact that the Florida Theater was closed, and that's a venue that we go to quite frequently. So that put us into a little bit of a panic at some point.
Yeah, over the summer, I'm a board member of the Florida Theater, so we go to a lot of shows there. And we went through a $9 million historic renovation for the Florida Theater. And so the theater was closed for 3.5 months, which I kind of joked with the president there, Numa. I said it kind of put a damper in our challenge. But, the theater opened back up at the end of October, and we got to get in a couple of shows before the end of the year. But we got to explore a lot of different venues, different sizes, small venues, big venues, going down to the amp a lot, hitting Jackrabbits, which is pretty much a gem of our community for small bands and new acts.
Yeah, Jackrabbits is a great resource and a really cool place to go see shows. They get a lot of good bands. But, some weeks are really busy on the Northeast Florida musical calendar. You can think of back-to-back, Wilco and Billy Strings. And, I mean, just, concert after concert sometimes. And then there's dry spells. So this wasn't one a week. This was just kind of a cumulative 52.
Yeah, I mean, the overall goal was 52 shows this year. Obviously, the calendar, ramps up and ramps down. So we didn't actually go to a show a week. I mean, I'm not sure I went to a show in June. So we had to make it up other times. And I think some weeks we had 2 and 3 shows. I think one week we had 5.
Yeah.
That was a lot. That was a busy week for us.
There were some weeks we didn't sleep very much.
Yeah.
So.
So did you ever have to cheat and go watch a busker or the guy that plays fake violin at Target?
I tried. I was actually traveling and saw a guy in the subway playing, and he's really, really good, like a classically trained musician. So I asked him, I'm like, hey, can this count as a concert? Because I think it was during our dry spell over the summer where it was a little bit quieter. And he was like, no, it has to be more intentional.
She sent me a really great text and was like, does this count? And I was like, no. The rules were a little fungible, but overall you had to do something with intent. You had to buy a ticket. You had to seek out a performance. We didn't want it to be something where if you're just hanging out at a bar, whoever's playing that night, or if you're catching something on the street, it had to be an intentional act.
You're holding yourself to a higher standard. But it sounds, to your point about buying a ticket, it sounds like a pretty expensive undertaking. So how did you guys manage the cost? And do you have any low cost hacks that you want to tell people about to afford something like this?
I think a lot of shows are actually much more affordable than people realize, especially at Jackrabbits and Underbelly and even places like Intuition. You could see some really good bands for $15 to $25. You don't have to always drop 75 to 150 like you sometimes might at an arena or at a bigger venue. And then, sometimes if stuff's sold out, you can always find someone trying to offload tickets, often at a discount day of. Social media is a great venue for that. So,
did people kind of learn about your effort and then start plying you with tickets too if they knew that they weren't going to be able to attend something?
Got a couple people offering us tickets, and a couple of friends kind of joined in on our challenge. We even have a text string called 52 Weekers, where we just sort of share different shows that we're looking at that we're wanting to go see. I don't think anybody quite got to our level, but it was just a lot of, when you're looking at what you're going to do with your dollars in town, you can either go out to a bar and drop $40, $50 on drinks, or you can go see a great band and enjoy some great live music.
Did you guys go to all these shows together? Did you guys get like really sick of each other?
Heather went to more shows than I did because she traveled a lot. She's more of a music fest fan than I am.
Yeah, and we went to the majority of them together, but there were also ones that he saw that I didn't, and ones that I saw that he didn't.
And
So
so what kind of concert goer are you? Are you like the down at the front of the stage hanging on the edge, or are you kind of at the back just chilling out at the bar?
I think it just kind of depends on the venue and the band and the mood too. There are certain venues where I like certain seats better. For acoustic performances, the balcony up at the Florida Theater is actually really great acoustically. They have one of the best sound systems in Northeast Florida. But when you have a great performer like Barnes Courtney at Jackrabbits, you got to be up front. You got to see him perform. You got to be part of it.
Let's hear a little of Barnes Corney, one of the artists that you saw in your 52 show of the year. If you had to pick one, Jason.
I'm going to steal a little bit of Heather's thunder here because she said that Barnes Courtney was her favorite show. I'm going to say that it's mine too. It's really rare that you get to go to a new act and you're just completely blown away. He was such a great performer. I mean, he went out to the crowd. I got some great shots of him like on his back with a microphone in his hand. It was real rock star stuff. He's like a young Mick Jagger. I have to be a little sentimental here. I got a chance to take my 11-year-old to go see the Abbott Brothers for the second time though. So I'll claim that as my favorite show, and I'll give Heather Barnes Courtney.
All right. You got a similar venture planned for next year? What's it going to be? Art venues, theater?
So people have asked us about that, and I've actually had some of the museums in town ask if we would do a visual art challenge. So maybe 52 pieces in 52 weeks. So,
well, keep us posted. Thank you, Heather Schatz and Jason Roth, for sharing your journey to musical nirvana.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
very much.